Hi, I'm Dr. Tim Weir, and I gotta tell you, I love life. But when I'm not being a husband, a father, a grandfather, an author, or a practicing chiropractor, I'm the host of the television show, Loving Life with Dr. Tim Weir. I love to cook. I love to travel. I like to spend time with people who do what they love and love what they do. Join me and Elvis for the next 30 minutes as we help you discover how to love life. Hey, have you ever had an idea, maybe a product, some type of food that you'd like to make and sell to other people and you didn't know how to do it? You didn't even know anybody who did that. I got some great guests today. We got a great show planned for you. We're at our friends with the Fresh Market, so let's get right to the show. Hey, I'm so excited to be here today because you know what? I got a new friend, and I'm with Josh Monahan. Josh, thanks for being with me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Oh my God, listen, I love people who create things, and you are a creator, man. So let's talk about this. You got these amazing chips, and I've seen them all over town. How did it get started?
So we started about 3 years ago. I was still in school at NC State, and so the name of the company is 1 in 6 Snacks. It stands for 1 in 6 people don't know where their next meal comes from. So we donate to the food bank. So here we have our 2-ounce size, we do a 5 cents, and this one we do 10 cents to the food bank.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Which is incredibly important.
Absolutely.
But what's also important is the product.
Right.
Why chips?
I grew up in the snack business. My family's in the peanut business, so I grew up doing that, and then I kind of wanted to do my own thing, so I knew that there wasn't really a local chip company, and there was a need for it. So.
And that's really an important thing. Find a niche, find a need, and fill it.
Right.
Okay? So, we talked a little bit beforehand because I think it's important to know what's the biggest seller, and you said sea salt.
The sea salt is. That was actually the last flavor we came out with, and it became our most popular.
Isn't that weird? What was your first one?
We actually had all the other flavors at one time, and then we just added sea salt at the end.
Is that cool or what?
Yeah, so just trial and error.
So now, kettle cooked, what does that mean?
So they're cooked in small batch kettles, so it's kind of like a smaller batch as compared to just running a continuous process. So it creates more of a quality product. That's how you get that crunch.
A little fresher and everything.
That's right.
Can we try one?
Absolutely.
Which one should we do? You tell me.
We can try a couple of them. The sea salt's the most popular.
And sea salt is good for you.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so here we go.
Yeah, I'll get some too.
That's really good.
Then we got a honey sriracha.
Oh, man.
That one's got a slight kick to it at the end.
Okay. This is like honey bee sting wings.
That's right.
You had those?
I have. They're good. It's kind of sweet, and then at the end, it kind of sneaks up on you.
Man, that is good. I mean, the flavor is, it does sting
It's
you
there
a
at the
little bit.
end, yep.
Oh! No, but that is really good. Listen, of course, we're at Fresh Market. Love these guys. But you're in several different places all around.
That's right.
Now, here's the problem. Because I get emails from people in California who watch the show, and Alaska, and you got a website.
We do. We have a website.
And they can order.
They can order online, and we also offer free shipping. So if you're ordering online, there's no need to worry about the price and stuff. So.
Well, I might do that rather than drive to the grocery stores, just get it online because it's free shipping. What an incredible deal. Listen, what would be your number one thing that you would tell somebody who's watching who says, I think I got an idea? How do you step out of the boat and do it?
I guess if you have an idea, something you believe in, I guess just keep after it, even if there are hard times, just keep going.
Because it isn't all easy.
No, it's not all easy. I'm sure you know.
Oh yeah. So, listen, go to the website, check it out. I'm telling you, these honey sriracha ones, totally amazing. Josh, you're an amazing guy. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. It was great seeing you.
Love what you do, man.
Yeah.
So, you might have an idea. Step out of the boat and do it, okay? Don't change the channel because we got more coming up.
Hi, my name is Anita. I was in an accident with whiplash, medium and lower back pain, and I came to Raleigh Injury Chiropractic, and I believe it was the best thing I ever done. The staff here is wonderful. Dr. Weir is great. I couldn't ask for nothing else better in Raleigh, and I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to maintain my health.
Hey, I'm Dr. Tim Weir. If you want results like Anita, call our office today, 919-790-1332. Call right now. Okay, it's Saturday, you're at the flea market, you see this gorgeous piece of furniture and you want to think, what can I do to make this beautiful? I can't help you, but my guest can. Donovan Lee, he's with Rust-Oleum.
Thank you, Dr. Tim.
Glad you're here. Let's talk about this.
All right, so what I'd like to do today is show you some advanced painting techniques. Let's start with the first one, Dr. Weir. The first one I'm going to show you is called distressing. And what I have here is just a piece of plywood. I painted it with Rust-Oleum chalked paint. And by chalk paint, what that means, it has a kind of a chalky feel to it. And it's also designed to be sanded very easily so that when you sand it, you can create a variety of looks.
And the chalk is an easy thing to paint with too also, isn't it?
Yes. It can go directly on bare wood, or it can go on previously finished wood without the need for a primer.
So I got sandpaper.
Yeah, so what I'm going to ask you to do is just sand it lightly in some spots. And what we're trying to simulate here is the natural wear and tear that a piece of furniture might get. Furniture typically is going to show wear on the corners or the raised edges. So as you can see, as Dr. Weir sands it here, you're starting to see some bare wood here, and you can also see how this sands to a beautiful powder there. You wouldn't be able to do this with a latex paint. A latex paint would get real gummy, and you just end up with a real mess.
Okay.
All right, so we simulated some wear and tear on this.
Got it.
All right, so this is the first technique. This is called distressing. It's a very simple technique. All we're doing is creating some artificial wear on there. So to finish this off, if this was a piece of furniture, all we would need to do is come back and top coat it with the chalked clear top coat. Now this is a very important step because the chalk paint is designed to wear very easily, to sand very easily. And this clear top coat gives you an added layer of durability to protect your piece of furniture.
Kind of seals it up.
It seals it up, right,
Okay.
and adds, like I said, a layer of protection there.
So what's the next thing we can do?
Okay, so the next thing we can do, we're going to do what's called glazing. So that process starts the same way as distressing. So we're going to use the same board here. So we would sand it down to bare wood, or so we can see some bare wood. Then we're going to come back with the chalked glaze. So what you'll see, this has about a bit of a gray color to it. And I'm going to dip my rag in there.
Got it?
I just need to get a little bit on the rag. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to wipe this over the surface. I need to get a little bit more.
It kind of stays away from that. Yeah.
So what you're going to see is where the bare wood is, it accentuates the grain in the wood. And where the painted surface is, it adds a bit of a grimy look. So the look of like built up dirt that might occur on a piece of furniture over years. All right, so that's the glaze technique. I have a little keepsake box here that I finished that can kind of show you what a finished product might look like. Again, it's very important that when you finish, you use the clear coat over top of it so you have a nice durable finish.
Next step.
All right, so the next technique I want to show you is called dry brushing. What we're going to do here is, here's just another piece of wood that I've coated with the chalk paint. We're going to, let me get to the gray here. So this is chalk paint glaze. What we're trying to do is we're trying to choose a complementary color to the chalk paint that we've already used. So what we're going to do is we're just going to gently brush this across there, and we're applying just very little paint to the surface there.
Yeah.
Now the key to this look is just making sure you have very little paint on your brush. You want to wipe almost all of it off your brush before you apply it.
Easy.
So that was dry brushing. The next one we want to do is called whitewashing. We want to take a little bit of the same gray paint I used in the dry brush technique, and I'm just going to use this stir stick to drop a little bit of paint in this container. And then I'm going to take some water here, and I want to pour a little bit of water in there. What we're doing is we're thinning down that paint. Now we only want to use no more than 50% water in here, because if you thin it down too much, it can get messy and it probably won't produce the desired results. We're going to use our same brush that we used before. And in this step, again, we don't want to get a lot of paint on our brush. We're just trying to add accents here. So this is very similar to dry brushing.
Just doesn't go on as thick.
Actually,
Ooh,
it goes
whoa,
on. It goes on
man,
thicker.
look
I
at
didn't
that.
have quite enough on there. So I get that on there, and what I typically like to do is come back with my brush and wipe a lot of that off.
So Donovan, where can people get these products?
Well, you can get these at most hardware stores and then large big box retailers that have a hardware or paint department.
Donovan, it's been an awesome thing. Rust-Oleum, great products. Don't change the channel because we got more coming up.
Uptone Pictures is a full-service script-to-screen production company which can help you create the proper messaging for any number of applications, with spacious state-of-the-art studio offering green screen, mocap, and practical stages, along with a team of professionals who will make you and your business shine. So what are you waiting for? Call us at 919-649-3587 and schedule your appointment today. It's time we put your imagination into motion.
Have you ever tried to lose weight and just, you couldn't do it? I am with, and I don't know if she wants to be called this, but to me, she is the queen of keto, Amy Smith. Amy, thank you for being with me.
Thanks for having me. I'm super excited. It's my first time in North Carolina.
Oh, isn't it gorgeous?
It is. It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful place. Let's talk about your story. How did all of this start for you?
Oh goodness, it's in 2012, early 2013, I separated from my now ex-husband, and the events that followed that were horrible, very traumatic stuff throughout my personal life, and so I kind of lost all desire and didn't even really realize, that food became my comfort, and I turned to food instead of dealing with things that I should have been dealing with. And things like that. So that was a really big deal for me. And in February of 2017, I was at work. I passed out at work. Went to urgent care, drove myself to the urgent care clinic, and when they took my blood pressure, they wouldn't let me leave. They brought in 5 different machines because they kept thinking that they were getting a false reading because they didn't know how I was alive with a blood pressure like that. It was like 265 over like 128 or something crazy. Had to call my mom. She picked me up, went to the ER after an afternoon of tests, and left that emergency room with 8 prescriptions to medication. Of course, they wanted to put me on anxiety medicine, depression medicine, blood pressure medicine, the whole rigmarole of the pharmaceuticals. So did that. Was told I would be on medication the rest of my life, and I wasn't okay with that. So I started researching online, trying to figure out some natural ways to basically take back control of my life. So kept seeing the stuff about keto. Had no idea, never heard of it in my life, didn't know what it was, so just started researching it.
So let's break that down a little bit. Where does ketogenic come from? What is keto?
The best, easiest way to describe the ketogenic diet is high fat, low to moderate protein. If you're doing it for weight loss, you really need to go on the low scale on the protein, and low carb. There's a big difference in low carb and keto though, that's super. And when you're actually following the ketogenic diet, your body produces its own natural ketones.
So the difference between proteins and carbs, a lot of people don't even know that.
Right, okay, so everything with the ketogenic diet, and any diet, which people don't realize, are macronutrients. So we talk about macros a ton in the keto world. And your macros are basically your fats, they're actually 4 things. So you talk about your calories, your protein, carbs, and your healthy fats are your macros.
You say they talk about it a lot in the keto world. You talk about it a lot in the Amy Smith
keto world.
Yes. Because listen, my wife and I had tried keto before and didn't do anything, okay, until we met you. I'm telling you.
I hear that quite often sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah. So how much have you lost now?
I've lost close to 35. I'm not going to say how much she's lost, but she looks fabulous. And so there are things that you talk about that nobody else is talking about, and you simplify it and you make it so digestible.
Well, my biggest goal is to make it to where every single person, like you shouldn't have to be a doctor, you shouldn't have to be a nutritionist to be able to follow the ketogenic diet. And so many people want to take bits and pieces and make their own version. And that's where you run into problems. Because if you're not counting your macros and not doing it for weight loss, it's not unlimited bacon and cheese like so many people want to make it out to be. You can't just eat as much bacon or cheese as you want and lose weight. That's just simply not how it works. If somebody can teach me how to do that, sign me up. But I hadn't.
Well, they're going to be on the show other than you. Then,
right? Exactly. If you can do that, sign me up, because I hadn't figured that one out yet. I need to meet that person. So.
Wow. So here you've got some amazing people who are following you. And how can people follow you?
You can find me on Facebook. I have an actual official hashtag. So fancy, right? Hashtag you, like the letter U, can, C-A-N, keto, K-E-T-O. The name of my Facebook group on Facebook is Push for Your Better. We just ask that you answer those 3 little questions and we'll approve you into the group, and that's where I do all of my coaching. I do also have a website, www.youcanketo.info, where you can sign up for my free weekly meal plans as well.
Wow. I don't know about you, but I'm excited. So in the weeks that follow, we're going to ask her some stuff that you want to know, okay? Don't change the channel. We got more coming up.
Uptown Pictures is a full-service script-to-screen production company which can help you create the proper messaging for any number of applications, with spacious state-of-the-art studio offering green screen, mocap, and practical stages, along with a team of professionals who will make you and your business shine. So what are you waiting for? Call us at 919-649-3587 and schedule your appointment today. It's time we put your imagination into motion.
Hi, my name is Anita. I was in an accident with whiplash, medium and lower back pain, and I came to Raleigh Injury Chiropractic, and I believe it was the best thing I ever done. The staff here is wonderful. Dr. Weir is great. I couldn't ask for nothing else better in Raleigh, and I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to maintain my health.
Hey, I'm Dr. Tim Weir. If you want results like Anita, call our office today, 919-790-1332. Call right now. Okay, believe it or not, we're not in the country. We're right in the middle of the town. I'm with David McConnell. David, thank you for being with me.
Thank you for coming.
100 Infinity Urban Farms.
So my son came up with the name. It's Infinity 100 because when he was a kid, he was like 4 years old, he used to tell me that was the biggest number in the world. He insisted on it. Dad, Infinity 100, that's the largest number there is. Infinity plus 100. So I was like, that'd be a great name for the farm.
Yeah.
So he kind of helped me get this whole thing started anyway, so I felt like we should honor his title.
Yeah.
Use that as the name.
So let's talk about it. I mean, it's a farm right in the middle of downtown.
Yeah.
What's the purpose?
Well, the purpose is to grow food for people to eat, quite simply. And we're doing it in the middle of the city because we want people to be able to see it, understand how it works. People can come and volunteer and learn about what we're doing. They can take that information and do it themselves, essentially. And we're just trying to have fun and do something that we love. And
Wow.
That's what we're doing right here in the city.
So you have a program called CSA, which stands for?
Community Supported Agriculture.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's our membership program. And our CSA picks up a box of produce every week. It's like a subscription to a magazine, but for food. They also get a bouquet of flowers and sometimes locally crafted goods.
So, when you were a little kid, did you ever envision yourself doing stuff like this? What was your?
No, when I was a little kid, I thought I was going to be a rock star.
Okay.
And I was in the music business until about 15 years ago.
So people can, average Joe Blow, I could subscribe to this?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, since, of course, the show is local, but we also are national, can people contact you would you be willing to talk to people about maybe doing this in their town?
Absolutely, yeah. I help people set up farms all over the country.
Huge. What an awesome thing.
It's fun.
Thank you for being with me.
Thank you.
You're awesome.
You're awesome.
Hey, check him out. Listen, I'm just blown away, man. I think it's so cool. That is really awesome. Hey, hope you enjoyed this episode of Loving Life. You know, the whole thing about life is, and you've heard the statement before, knowledge is power, and that is really true. If you find yourself that you're not powerful in certain situations, if things are just, you feel weak, the best thing to do is to gain knowledge. So find areas where you want to go and then how you can learn more about them. That's what I love about our guests that we had today. So keep up with us so we can keep up with you. Loving Life with Dr. Weir on Facebook, www.drtimweir.com, Instagram, Twitter. It's all about keeping in the know and increasing knowledge at the same time. And guess what? Having fun doing it. So until next time, keep loving life. Do you want this music off? Is that okay?
Turn off the music.
You know, I always thought God was a man. Yeah. Go ahead and run. I hear the train a-comin'.